I really be hating to do these videos like this. Let me see if I can sit in the light real quick. I really be hating to do these type of videos, y'all. Uh, for those of you who don't know, the young brother PnB Rock was killed out there in LA today, South Central LA, down on the east side, South Central LA, off of Main Street, down there at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Yeah, there's a lot of speculation about his killing. There, and the speculation is actually based on facts that took place, like his baby mama posting up their location at the restaurant while they were there, um, which you should never do, especially regardless of who you are. You should never do that. You should really get into the habit of post. If you're gonna post to be on social media like that, you should really learn to get into the habit of not posting up where you exactly are and waiting till you leave a location. Shoot, sometimes if I was gonna do that, I wouldn't wait till a week or so after I'd already left the place and was well gone out the vicinity, you know. But there are a lot of people saying that he was set up. Um, there's a lot of funny business surrounding his death from an earthly level. Like, for instance, he just went independent. He's a musician, a recording artist from Philly, okay? He just went independent, left a major record label deal with Atlantic. They had an issue over the money. He was getting like 15% royalties. He had an issue with that when he found out that he was going to have to recoup that 15% after he paid for his way. So basically, whenever you have a major record label deal, let's say it's 15%, and the record label takes, let's say, 85%, right? They're going to get their money back from that deal, but they're not going to pay for the services rendered through their portion of the 85%. They're going to make the artist pay for studio time, hotel rooms, travel expenses, food expenses, producing expenses, studio, I think I said studio expenses, clothing, anything that an artist has to pay for or that an artist receives to further their career, they have to pay for it for whatever they have to pay for it out of whatever their percentage is. Okay. I believe I heard PnB Rock state that he was getting 15% and that wasn't sitting well with him. So he got out the deal. I find it interesting though that once he went independent, this is when he gets killed. I also find it interesting that, and I'm not going to make this about the music industry so much because honestly, I tell y'all all the time, we in spiritual warfare every day. And, but I found it interesting that Nipsey Hussle was signed to the same record label as PnB Rock, Atlantic. And when they both went independent, they both ended up getting murdered. And they both ended up getting murdered in LA, in South Central. Um, albeit 3 years apart. Now, this young brother was 30 years old. And what I find troubling about this whole situation is his killing. Well, like Nipsey, the aftermath of his killing has been circulating around the web. So in this case, the brother was on the floor, basically struggling to keep his life inside of the Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles on the floor. Blood everywhere, a very gruesome scene. And somebody filmed it, and it's floating all over the internet now. So that's the last thing his children are going to see of him in his final moments. Another thing that struck me is that all the pictures that I seem to find with this brother online are similar to the one that I used for this thumbnail. Or he's flipping somebody off. His last video on IG, I believe it was IG, he was talking about some female he used to deal with and how she's a B and that I know she's looking at me now, but middle finger to her. And that was his last video where he was alive. He was bopping in his car. He was feeling himself. he was on the way to Roscoe Chicken and Waffles. The baby mama was driving the vehicle, and he panned the camera to her, and she was on her phone while driving, which is something you should never do. But she did give me this energy like she knew something. And like I said, this is a very difficult situation to have to speak on, but I'm going to do my best to keep it on the spiritual side of things. My condolences to his family. PnB Rock stated how he lost an older brother. I think he does have a younger brother too. But that older brother, he said when he lost his older brother, that woke his game up to the realities of mortality, to the realities that life is precious, to the realities that as he continues to advance through his career, he's going to have to be a little bit more careful on how he moves. And in this area of LA in South Central, it's one of them spots, okay? It's one of them spots where it's a lot of hungry people. It's a lot of hungry people. You know, ever since that whole unemployment, EDD, um, COVID pandemic, stimulus checks, and all that type of mess, there's been a lot of people who got used to a certain mode of handout, if I may. There was already hungry people all throughout the place, all throughout the world, all throughout the nation. But when those benefits from our country began to get taken away, those stipends, many people went back to resorting to crime. A lot of the revenue streams that a lot of folks in the hood was taking at that time have minimized. Okay, they've minimized greatly, and so now you have the perfect storm brewing up daily in the inner city communities where people are on edge and people are looking for any chink in the armor of those who would appear to be having things. Okay, and PnB Rock, you know, was allegedly from the hood himself in Philly. Hood is the hood, but there are different characteristics of each hood depending on what region of the nation you in. And a lot of these rappers, unfortunately, just because you from some place, it doesn't mean that the individual won't be game goofy, like we say in the Bay. Game goofy mean that a person isn't schooled to the going ons in a certain location, region. A person isn't schooled with street smarts in order to survive, regardless of ego, regardless of what they think they have to do to save face. And sometimes when our ego steps in, we're blinded by that ego, and that ego will keep us from doing things that we need to do to survive. Now, in this situation, there was a young brother that smoked PnB Rock that killed him. It was violent gun killing. I'm still all for our Second Amendment rights, so I don't want nobody to get that twisted. But the young brother who did the killing, he uh he really didn't give no time, according to news reports, for PnB Rock to really respond. I believe they did take his jewelry. He was in PnB Rock was in the Roscoes flossing real heavy. All this ice, all these diamonds, all this jewelry on in a Roscoe, okay, in South Central, on the east side of South Central off Main Street. Now, I don't know what people need to hear when it comes to certain areas. You know, right now, how crazy everything is going in the world. You can be in a posh place like Beverly Hills, downtown, someplace where, you know, all the money is at. And people are still getting robbed. People are still getting stuck up. People are still getting things took from them. The people who are hungry are going wherever they think is food. You understand? So my condolences out to that brother right there. But the things that worried me and why I'm making this live video, I'm wanting to do a warning. I'm considering this a warning shot. Again, crying out loud on behalf of the Most High to those who are still under the Most High's grace, whether they know it or not. It's a young brother, a young sister out there right now, who is celebrating PnB Rock's murder. It's a young brother, a young sister out there right now who's thinking about taking his spot in the music industry rankings, as if PnB Rock was some sort of legitimate competition for them in order to be the next up in this rap industry. And one thing that I'm not going to be able to sit up here and ignore, being someone who has been in the music industry for such a long time, is that these artists are laying in bed with the devil. They're using the devil's trinkets. They're keeping their hands extended for the devil's handouts. Now, I got to say this. These could be good-hearted young brothers and sisters that they claim to be doing this on behalf of their family so that they could get in better position in society. But when you really from the hood and you done been through, let's say, the crack era, and you have been propositioned to even get into that situation of selling crack because you feel at a certain time that that's the only way you gonna be able to advance in society, right? Then all your homies, all your partners is selling crack. And you start to really look at this. I started really looking at this. Every single one of my partners that ever sold crack, I say 8 out of 10 of them sold crack because they mama was on crack, they daddy was on crack, their aunties was on crack, or their uncles was on crack. And I had personal, private conversations with each one of my partners who had to sell crack. Okay? And they tell me straight up, bruh, if I don't do it, if I don't sell this to my mama, she gonna go out there and do something strange for that crack rock. And it's gonna be an embarrassment more to me. It's gonna be harder for me out here knowing that my mama was just sleeping with so-and-so around the corner to get her little hit. It's gonna be harder for me to deal with my daddy out here doing something crazy, getting his life took from him, getting his freedom took from him when I might got the means to buy a little double up or something and be able to front them some little crack rocks for the day in order to do my best to keep them safe. And me growing up in the hood, that's where I'm from. Okay, for me to see that every day, and these really be my friends, and these really be my aunties, my uncles. Even if they not my blood auntie and uncle, but to see that, wait, this is my brother right here. This is my family right here. My partner, right? So if I know this and this is really my partner, I'm not finna get out there and sell no drugs to their parents. I'm not finna get out there and sell no rocks to their auntie and uncle, knowing that auntie and uncle got a real serious issue and that this plague of drugs is really prevalent in our community. I'm not gonna add to it. Nope. I got to find another way. Now, everybody is not thinking that way. And I hate to say it, but the way that the music industry has presented us with this rap and hip hop today, it is the new crack industry. It is the new crack era. Lives, countless number of lives are being lost, and countless number of souls are being lost. Right now, I'm not gonna be able to stand up here just because I'm in the music industry and try to paint a pretty picture that it's really not. This is why I put that brother's thumbnail on this picture on this YouTube the way I did. You see, he's throwing up the devil horns, right? He's on stage throwing up the devil horns, and I got some word out of this here book to speak on this. But before I do, I want y'all to know, young life, who watch this, who's considering signing a major record label deal, I'm beseeching you, don't do it. It's just like getting that front of that dope from that guy. It's just like hopping in the crack game. Because when you get the front from that dope, he gonna smile at you from that guy about that dope. He gonna paint a pretty picture. He gonna pull up in that Benz. He gonna have all the designer on. He gonna have the new shoes. The Benz gonna be rolling on some new shiny things. And he gonna be like this. Hey, bro, yeah, look, all you got to do is take this whoop de whoop whoop. Okay, this a little something something. He gonna proposition you to take the whoop de whoop whoop. No money down. No money down. But you gonna have to sell all of that. And then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna get my whoop de whoop whoop from you in a few days. And he gonna smile in your face. He gonna make you think he your big bro. And everything cool. But do you know how many young brothers ran off on the plug? Or hid from the plug? Because they couldn't handle whatever the plug fronted them. And now they owe the plug a lot of money. And don't got no way to recoup that money to run back the plug they money. And you know what ended up happening? The plug go from big bro to straight killer on the payroll. Okay? That's the crack era. The same thing happening in the music era right now. You think these major record labels is finna give you access behind closed doors to get the double XL shots, to get the cover, to get the BET stage, to step on stage at the MTV Awards, to get all the music videos popping under they label, they imprint they've been dealing with since the beginning of this devilish music industry? And you think they really finna let you, after you get wise and hip to what they doing, after your second or third album in, that 5 album deal, that you say, you know what? I want to renegotiate my contract. You know what? I don't think this is working for me. Let me go on and go independent. You know what they gonna say after they got all that work out of you, but you still owe them an album or two? They gonna smile in your face and they gonna say, okay, well look, we gonna keep everything, we gonna keep all the revenue, royalties coming in, and we gonna let you go. They not gonna let you go, bruh. You know what's gonna happen? Because now when they let you go, you done made the connections already. When they let you go, you done already got the benefit of their platforms. When they let you go, you done already got the benefit of their publicists. When they let you go, you done already got the streaming numbers up. People know your name. When they let you go, you already got the notoriety. So you know what they gonna let you do? They gonna let you release a couple singles when you go independent. They gonna let you release them last 2 albums that was supposed to be on that record label. They gonna let you release them independent. And then you know what's gonna happen? They gonna send them hit boys at you. They gonna send them hit men your way. And that's what I keep seeing. I keep seeing these terrible situations where these young artists is signing these deals as teenagers. They getting hip to the game in their mid to late 20s. They getting out of the game from the major record label side. The major record labels let them sit for a couple minutes, but they ducks now. And then they send them goons their way. Another unsolved murder. Or they send the MK Ultra goon their way. And the MK Ultra goon is under deep hypnosis. But I want to step outside of that. And I want us to focus on what's really going on because that's happening. But that's the devil side of things. Okay? What did the Most High tell us in this word was going to happen during this time? One of the key things that really got to me was most of the videos or the pictures, the images that PnB Rock is in. Again, my condolences to his family. He flipping off the camera. He real cold in his videos. His lyrics are detached and they're very selfish. And it's sad. Can you imagine the last thing people know you by is what you produce and what you push out there to the world to see? If this was my last video, right, and something was to happen to me, first of all, I've come to the place in my life where I am fully, to the best of my ability, accepting of the divine will of the Most High. This is what we pray for when we say, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. May thy kingdom come. May your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. You see, y'all, to be put in a situation like this, for the last video of anybody to be one of the produce or production of the devil, it's going to leave a lasting effect on his family members or anyone's family members. Remember, I told y'all my testimony and I spoke on how back in 2007 and before, I was running around acting crazy, acting totally crazy, right? And if I hadn't listened to the voice of the Most High in 2007, I most definitely would have been out of here, right? Laboratory, it would have been essentially demonic. It would have been that, and I hate to use words like that, but I got to keep it 100, even about myself. I was doing the work that would bring glory to the devil's kingdom, not realizing that my so called pursuit of a major record label deal was frivolous and fruitless in what the Most High called me to do and the gift that was placed in me to bring glory and attention back to the Most High. And I was using the gift totally wrong. And I'm eternally thankful and grateful for the grace that was over my life. And this is why I had to make this video, because there's still a young brother, young sister that's alive in this flesh, in this plane, who has grace given to them, extended to them right now. But they on the fence about whether or not they're going to listen. In these scriptures, Matthew chapter 24, we read, and starting in verse 4, Yahshua says, Watch out that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, claiming I am the Messiah, or I am the Messiah, and will deceive many. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. See, what troubles me the most right now is the devil is working double, triple overtime at an all-time high to collect as many souls as possible. When I watched that young brother on that ground and he couldn't even speak, and all he could do was tap his fingers on the ground when people was trying to figure out, when the employees that was totally shell-shocked at Waffle House was trying to figure out where he was wounded. They didn't know what to do, y'all. That brother was just tapping on that cold ground, and all of that designer, all of them clothes he had on. I know he was wishing he could trade everything in that day, in that moment, to be sitting down without no gunshot wounds, to not have been violently chopped down like that. His last thoughts were watching people squirm around him to try to help him, and nobody was there to speak life to him. Nobody was there to pray over him. Nobody was there to console him and keep him calm. Nobody was there who was aware of what to do in a situation like that. And he felt all of that. His life flashed before him so quickly. Every single thing that he was a part of that day, I know he thought about. That last video he made where he's in the car, rocking to his music, listening to himself, saying dastardly things. I'm knowing that affected him greatly while he was on that floor sprawled out. I know he was thinking about his children, his two baby girls. I know he was thinking about all of these things, all of these choices that he made that led him to that point right there. I need y'all to hear this because we are in the time of the end. We are in the time of great tribulation. We are in the time of the beginning of birth pains, y'all. I told y'all in the video this year is not over and it's going to get worse. It's going to be one heck of a wild ride. And every time at the end of summer, we get an upsurge in killings, an upsurge in death, an upsurge in negative, nasty energy, an upsurge in all of the demonic energy that seeks to remove people out and trick people out of their position with the Most High's grace and mercy. Nation will rise against nation. We're seeing that now. And kingdom against kingdom. We're seeing that now. There will be famines. We're seeing that now. And earthquakes in various places. We're seeing that now. All these are the beginning of birth pains. When a mama is finna give birth, she's going through all type of contractions because a beautiful child is finna be birthed. We are going through the birth pains that was prophesied right now because the new kingdom is getting ready to reveal itself and manifest into this plane. But before that, this old kingdom must go. And that old kingdom, ran by Satan and his demons, they are not leaving without a fight. And they are literally trying to snatch as many souls as they can right now. Verse 9, then you will be handed over to be persecuted and put to death, and you will be hated by all nations because of me. Right now, many of the saints, many of the people of the Most High are still being persecuted at an all-time high. Many people of the Most High who are representing the light of the Most High being ostracized, hated on, being shunned, being ignored because the message of truth is that real. And it's amazing to me how we as a whole group of people, a whole nation of people can ignore all of the signs in exchange for the blindness, in exchange for wanting to be blind to these real things that are happening and say, nah, this is just the time. This has always happened. Nah, that was just that guy. He was in the wrong place, wrong time. I don't do coincidences. I don't do wrong place, wrong time. We are choosing to be blind to all of the signs. I need y'all to hear me, especially my young life, who is considering staying within this music industry to try to pursue a major record label deal when we are called to use our gifts to bring light and glory to the Most High. At that time, listen to me, it should be no surprise what is going on. Yahshua tells us in verse 10, at that time, many will turn away from the faith and will betray and hate each other. And many false prophets will appear and deceive many people. We are seeing that now. Many people who are on that fence are choosing the path that they want to take in this very moment in time. We can throw up the praying hands as a symbol of our wanting to be closer and more connected with the Most High, or we could throw up them devil horns as a symbol to want to be connected and closer to the devil. Because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold. When I watched that PnB Rock video, his last video while he was in his car, he wasn't singing a song about, baby, I forgive you. Baby, I know we went through our things and this and that. He was using the other B word. And he was flipping whoever that was off throughout the whole song, just feeling himself. And for that to be the last living video of that young brother, I hope it serves as a warning. I hope it serves as a wake-up call. A wake-up call that we are truly in the time of the end. A wake-up call that if you was ever on the fence, considering doing this participating in the demonic aspects of the music industry, that you really take second note of that. You got people running around saying rappers Rapping is the most dangerous job on earth right now. That's what people are saying. People don't realize that rap is the biggest genre on earth right now. Knocked out country, knocked out rock and roll. It knocked out all of the mainstream genres. And this is a genre that pretty much came to prevalence and prominence in the 80s. And in 90, 2000, 10, 20, and 30 to 40 short years, rap has become the largest genre on the face of the earth. Do you think there are people that are happy about that? And who originated rap? The brother and sister in the hood. Do you think that these white executives want black people to be successful and own the industry that was created out of the pain and struggle of those same said black folks? We weren't sad about our conditions. We weren't singing the blues anymore. We were hyping ourselves up, and we were speaking life to one another through the earliest stages of hip hop. We were educating each other. Hip hop was a new medium to bring truth and light to those places that the devil thought he had us cornered and trapped. And when that white man and those executives began to see the power of hip hop and how we were waking ourselves up and how we were using hip hop to speak life to one another, that old sneaky man said, I have to figure out a way to knock these Negroes down. Now we start seeing the emasculation of our men through hip hop. We start seeing the hypermasculinity of our women in hip hop. We start seeing the destruction of the family through hip hop. Every depraving, low, nasty element of life has been presented through hip hop now. The total antithesis of what we started hip hop for. And instead of our people taking ownership of what we created, ownership has now been given to the Jewish community of our creative prowess, of our creative platform, of our creative strategy to wake our people up. But it's deeper than hip hop, y'all, because it's spiritual warfare. And any tool that the devil could use against the children and people of the Most High, the devil is going to use it. And hip hop is one of those strong nuclear arsenal tools that the devil uses to destroy a countless number of people and remove a countless number of souls from the grace and mercy of the Most High. Because of the increase of wickedness, verse 12, Matthew 24, the love of most will grow cold, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. You see, we're called to stand firm. All of those who know that the truth of the word is real. We will be a light to those who are on the fence, and hopefully those people will make the right decision. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. The Spirit clearly says that in later times, some will abandon the faith and will follow deceiving spirits and things taught by demons. Such teachings come through hypocritical liars whose consciences have been seared as with a hot iron. They forbid people to marry and order them to abstain from certain foods, which God created to be received with thanksgiving by those who believe and who know the truth. For everything God created is good, and nothing is to be rejected if it is received with thanksgiving, because it is consecrated by the word of God and prayer. Now, that doesn't mean you go and eat pork and crustaceans and lobster and crab. That's not what that means. Because those things weren't, even though they were created by the Most High, they weren't consecrated as goodly things for us to eat. They have their place within the ecosystem. So I don't want people to be misconstrued with that. Okay? This word is talking about what do the statutes, laws, and commands of the Most High dictate to us. And what those things are dictated to us, those are the things that we abide by. And out of those things, they are good to eat. If you point these things out to the brothers and sisters, you will be a good minister of Hamashiach, Yahshua, nourished on the truth of the faith. You first have to be nourished on the truth, like what I just shared with you. I could go around and say, like them pork chop preachers, hey, no, the pig is good to eat. You go on and we're going to have us a crab feed. That's not good. Those foods aren't good for us to eat because they are bottom dwellers. They are the vacuum cleaners of the world through the animal kingdom. This is why we must be nourished on the truths of the faith and of the good teaching that you have followed. Have nothing to do with godless myths and old wives' tales. Rather, train yourself to be godly. For physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come. We must pray for the goodness of this world, the goodness of this realm, but we also pray for the goodness of the realm to come. We pray that we move forward in the godly things. Like the word just told us, physical training is good, but physical training only benefits the one who is physically trained. If I do a push-up, that push-up is only going to build up my chest muscles, my arm muscles, my triceps, my shoulder muscles. It's not going to build up that of my wives. It's not going to build up that of my children. It's not going to build up that of my community. Yes, those things will help me stand strong when I must present the word of truth, but they are not going to help my community as a whole. But godliness, preaching the word of truth, pointing these things out to the brothers and sisters, being a good minister of Hamashiach, those things will be of great value to all because they will put the proper things in the proper context on the mind, on the heart, to be contemplated later on when everybody is gone away, when everybody has separated for the day, when everybody has gone back to their living quarters. There'll be something to think about that has to do with the Most High. These godly things have value for all things. The godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come. This is a trustworthy saying that deserves full acceptance. That is why we labor and strive, because we have put our hope in the living God, who is the Savior of all people, and especially of those who believe. Command and teach these things. Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. Until I come, devote yourself to the public reading of Scripture, to preaching and to teaching. Do not neglect your gift, which was given you through prophecy when the body of elders laid their hands on you. How our brother PnB Rock was tricked. He had the gift of speech. He had the gift of communication. He had the gift of articulation. But instead of using the gift, instead of devoting himself to the public reading of Scripture, to preaching and to teaching, he devoted himself to the message of the devil. He promoted the message of the devil to the youth and to his peers. He neglected his gift. He did not use his gift. He neglected his gift. He neglected his gift of articulation and communication by using it for the devil. And we are we in a great time right now. My young life, whoever sees this video, you was made to see this. You was led to see this on purpose. You clicked on this video on purpose. Please listen to the message and contemplate this message. Contemplate this message deeply. I woke up this rising. I was working all night, y'all. I woke up till the sun came up. I woke up till my children had to start school. Do y'all hear me? I looked outside. It was such a beautiful, beautiful day earlier on. Wasn't a cloud in sight. The sky was beautifully blue. The sun was shining bright. I said, oh, these crops is going to love today. I said, I'm going to have to get out there and do some watering today. Do y'all hear me? It was a beautiful day, a slight breeze. The temperatures have gone down a little bit. Just a beautiful day. I felt like I was back in the bay. Every day is beautiful. But today had a certain to it. And then I get word after I get up from my nap that PnB Rock had been killed at Roscoe Chicken and Waffles down in LA. And I said, goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Verse 15 of 1 Timothy chapter 4. Be diligent in these matters. Give yourself wholly to them so that everyone may see your progress. When you sign up with the devil is going to put you out there. And the devil is going to show people your progress that the devil is covering you with and presenting to you so that others might be lured and drawn in to want to be in league with the devil themselves. Oh, bro, I was just selling out the trunk of my car. Now I'm on BET. Now I'm on the cover XXL. Now I'm doing this. Now look, I'm in places I ain't never been before. The whole Vibe thing, right? Vibe magazine and all this. He was talking about how he was considered for the freshman class of the year. PnB Rock was. Oh, but they was already on me when I was doing this. But when I signed with Atlantic, then all the eyes was on me, and it just made it a lot easier for me to have connections I never would have had. I was already grinding. I was already doing what I was doing. But when I signed that label deal, then I was able to be put in positions that I normally wouldn't get. The record label connected me with people I wouldn't normally get access to. So that's what they did. That's paraphrasing what PnB Rock said. You see, everybody saw his progress, but his progress was moving further and further and further into the side of wickedness, into the realm of wickedness. And now we see his final end, death. And his family is mourning his life. Be diligent in these matters, y'all. Give yourself wholly to them so that everyone may see your progress. Watch your life and doctrine closely. Verse 16 of 1 Timothy chapter 4. Must I say it again? Watch your life and doctrine closely. You will save both yourself. Watch your life and doctrine closely. Persevere in them. Because if you do, you will save both yourself and your hearers. I'll say it again. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 16. Watch your life and doctrine closely. Persevere in them. Because if you do, you will save both yourself and your hearers. Look, y'all, I hate that this happened to the brother. I hate that I had to, I'm grateful that I had an opportunity to speak to you all again at this hour. It's about 10 something on the West Coast right now. People are tripping out left and right. Y'all, this stuff isn't going to stop until the new kingdom comes. All of these senseless killings, they're really not senseless when you begin to realize that we all have a timetable on our lives. They're really not senseless when you realize the grace of the Most High is real, but that grace can be taken from each and every one of us if we choose not to adhere to the Most High, meaning connect with. If we play with our lives and we don't persevere in the truth, we can be chopped down just like that brother was in cold blood, in broad daylight, in the middle of the afternoon, when everybody is wanting to have a great day. Listen, I hope y'all are hearing this. I truly am. To all the young life, please let this be a warning to y'all. Please use your discretion. To all the older individuals, my peers, all the elders, Please continue to preach the word of truth. You're not crazy for talking life to these young ones. You still cool. As a matter of fact, how can you not be cool when you 50, 60 years old and then lived a whole life? What's not cool is getting chopped down at 28 years old, 29 years old, 30 years old before your life has even got a chance to take off. That's what's not cool. How you not cool, my elder? And after you done made the right decisions and then executed the right choices in order to get to your eldership, to get to that age of maturity. How are you not cool? You use your wisdom and you figure out a way to connect with these young ones. It's time for us to really step it up a notch, turn it up a notch when it comes to connecting, when it comes to putting these messages out, when it comes to truly doing what we can to turn people's minds back over to the Most High. Everything, we only have what we have, right? Meaning the influence, the gifts, the abilities to connect. We can only do so much, and we have to leave the rest of it up to the Most High. But don't regret your position. Don't take for granted your position and your ability to connect to those who might not hear nobody else but your voice. Listen, I'm keeping all of y'all in my prayers, truly praying for that young man's family. It's a shame. It's a shame that his daughters is going to be fatherless childs now. It's a shame. It's a shame, y'all. It's a shame. But each one of us has gotten that call. I know that young man got the call, but he chose not to listen. And he chose to stay going the other way. All in the name of, I want to do this to put my family in good position. I want to do this so that I can do this or do that. Well, if that's the case, do the fruits of the tree showcase what fruit it really was? And every time we ask that question, you say, yes, it did. And that's what makes it so saddening. But that's what also gives me hope that somebody will see what happened to this young brother and they'll get their life right. They'll turn their life around. They'll heed the call. And they need individuals like us to stand in the truth, to be there for them as support when they do. Look, it's your brother True Jew tapping in with y'all. The only way I know how. Raw, real, and uncut. My condolences to that man's family, to his children. Whatever sly business was going on behind the scenes, justice will be served. Believe that. Know that. It's going to hurt right now. Many people were his fans. Many people supported his music. It's going to hurt. If you come across this video, know it was divine timing. If you got this far in the video, once it's published, it was divine timing. You have an opportunity to change your life right now. You have an opportunity to heed the call right now. You have an opportunity to use that blessed gift and take it from the devil and use it for the Most High right now. You have an opportunity to double back and do all the things that you need to do to make up for lost time right now in order to get right within yourself and to get right with the Most High. It's your brother True Jew tapping in with y'all. I love you to life always. Stay blessed, stay vigilant. Until next time, Most High Mama, Papa willing, I'll be back with another one. But until then, gone.